community. No, they control what you see that's wrong going on in the community. So as far as the Jews coming out in the Jewish community, several of them have made videos. Brothers from our community, here we go again, black Hebrews, calling them brothers as they work and condemn me and slander me. And I'm looking, yes, brother, there's 3 Jews there. And one brother from the Hebrew Israelite community who always does negative videos. And I'm just like, man, he's siding with these 3 pale Jews about what's going wrong in the conversation as far as the debate is concerned. And I mean, to each his own, they got their opinion. But I mean, this guy will not call me brother, but he calls these 3 pale Jews brother, and they stood on the fact that it's okay to suck these babies' penises. And let's make it clear, in order for them to do what they do, it's not official unless they suck the blood and chew the skin. So let's keep it all the way a buck. This is not just as if it would have been okay if they just sucked the penis by itself alone. No, they have to suck the blood. It's not official. The circumcision is not official unless they suck the blood and they chew the skin, the foreskin. So that's vampirism at the heights. You know, and even vampires in movies didn't do molestation. They always kept it around their age group. You know, they bit into somebody that was of their age group. These motherfuckers is over here molesting babies. You feel me? There's no excuse for it. I mean, you couldn't convince me to suck the blood out of anybody for any reason, let alone a baby, and then chew the skin to officialize the circumcision. That's not no culture of our people. We shouldn't associate with nothing like that. And any people of our race that finds it incumbent to attack me because I'm against that, one amongst many other reasons that I don't support the Judaic doctrine. They've lost their mind. They said that I'm anti-Semitic. I'll have to be that. If you're identifying anti-Semitism as one who doesn't support your mouth on babies' penises, then I'll be anti-Semitic. If you're saying that I'm anti-Semitic because you should have the right to undercompensate people that are not Jews, when I know that you employ a great deal of black people, then I know you're purposely underpaying them. If that makes me anti-Semitic, I'll be anti-Semitic. See, they like to throw those words out there. You feel me? But they are not addressing the core issues. I didn't go into their name calling and just on an emotional rant about racism. I took extracts, content, data from their corpus, their religious corpus, and I presented it to the people, and all they had to do was say, that's a lie, it's not in there, and we don't practice that. Until this day, they refuse to say that, because they can't, which tells you where they stand as a people. There may be some good Jews out there, but like I said, if they subscribe to those books, I can't rock with you like that. You can live in your culture, you can continue to abuse your children, but don't come over here telling us we gotta unite. Stay in your community and do that craziness. If all of you agree to abusing your children like that, I'll mind my business. I'm not gonna try to impose my will on your community, because my community needs to be uplifted. I can't waste my time. Just don't come in our community talking about you got a plan for us and we need to unite, and you refuse to drop that part of your ordinance.
Very well put. Is it a possibility for a next debate or another debate? Because to me it seemed like it was cut kind of short. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a delay in the beginning, but I think that, you know, we could possibly, as packed as it was last month, we could possibly fill up an arena, you know, and maybe another place throughout the nation. Everything doesn't always have to happen here in the city, in New York, because people are aware all through the country. So is it a possibility for another debate?
Oh, it definitely is. Right now, I'm weighing options amongst the church. It's a highly revered church in America and around the world. I should be debating them. We're looking to do it for summertime. I am also considering one of these rabbis. One of them is very aggressive, and I want that. I want a very aggressive rabbi, and he's sticking to it. He's like, yeah, this is what it says. And I'm gonna show you where you're wrong. I'm gonna show you how you misguided. And I would like that conversation, so I'm very interested in that one. And then there is a brother in particular that I would debate because of the conversation. The conversation would be real good. It'd be about women, and he has a strong stance against women. And the thing is, the brother's very respectful towards me. Despite our differences, he's very respectful. And that's where I want to keep it, because I didn't want to debate our brothers anymore, because I think they overwhelmed by my personality, and they go in more with the intention to say, I cursed him out, or I disrespected him. You see how I got at him, I talked about his family, and there's only but so much of that I could take. I make sure I don't get rattled, and I certainly don't want us to engage each other violently. But probably the best thing or decision that I can make is to refrain from debating members of a community that feel like we are at eye level and that they can disrespect me to prove their points. I don't want to really go there because it's getting to the point is annoying. I felt so good to do a debate and didn't have to see no homosexual pictures of it or hear somebody talking about, Dr. Young, our brothers aren't too creative. One person does it in every debate. Dr. Young, to prove their point, or let's show some homosexual pics, or let's show a homosexual video. So I wanted to come out for air, and I wanted to see if I debated a white man, what might happen? Well, he threw his pop shots. It's a debate, but he didn't really do no, I'm attacking your character type of thing. I mean, he threw his shots, and that's what happens. But he didn't do like our brothers do. Our brothers try to get into rumors and slander, paste all that stuff up. They try to talk about whoever taught you, and then they always have to make sure they show you some kind of penis going in another man's butt, or men twerking. I know it's for shock value for the most part, but it's just it's a recurring theme, and it's distasteful in my opinion. I love the excitement of what we do. I want to keep it black orientated. What we do as far as debates is very unique, and how we were able to and are able to garner a position in the hearts and minds of our people and bring them out to hear the discourse. I love the way we do it. But we always got to improve it from one debate to the next. So for me, this last debate was like a breath of fresh air. I didn't have to deal with the possibility, and I knew it. I didn't have to come into the debate worrying about if somebody's going to talk about my wives or my children. Because it's not necessary. Or let's talk about the person who taught you to prove my point based on the subject matter of the debate. I didn't have to worry about if someone's going to show homosexual slides to prove their point. I'm telling you, whether it's about if the white man's the devil, whether it's about if the Bible's plagiarized, whether it's about the historical origins of Islam, it really doesn't matter. The homosexual pictures always go up. My family's always being talked about. They're wearing heels, or, you parading your woman around this way, that way. I'm like, come on, bro, just stick to the subject. Leave my family out of the situation. But it's okay. This is what happens when people are overwhelmed with a person's personality. They're mad that people are walking with me.
Let's get ready to rumble!
They're mad that people are walking with me. And so their thing becomes this. I'm going to get these people to stop following him more than they're interested in educating the people. So it's like I'm literally sitting there doing debates with people who I see clearly they're not even interested in the debate more than they're interested in, I'm going to stop these people from listening to him.
Right.
And when it's like that, it gets boring for me because it's not fair, bro. I'm spending money to leave the country on research, and I don't even get a chance to use the research because the information they put forth, I have to be responsive to what they're talking about. So if they low frequency, be that as it may, I still got to be responsive to whatever they're postulating. So I never get a chance to really come forward and say, well, here's what I went to this place for to do. If I'm flying out the country to get information, documenting everything, taking pictures, doing videos, writing notes, translating, if I'm going on my way to do that, and I'm buying the best books I possibly can find because I'm reading a whole lot. a while, one book leads you to the next, which leads you to the next, to the point you get to that code. The book that make you say, this is it. Take all that into consideration, and then look at the people of debate. They're screenshotting stuff that they find it online. They downloading PDFs, and that's okay, because you can get quality information that way. But when you measure out the extent or the length that I'm going through to get the information, versus people who get an opportunity to say, well, I'm gonna talk about his family, and I'm gonna show you a few slides from what I got from Google, it's disrespectful to me. It's annoying. I took on a debate with Harry because he has a theological research institute. When you look it up, it's comprised of a lot of people that are credentialed scholars who go the extra mile to substantiate their belief system. So whether he came in with that clout, I took on that battle because I was ready for that battle. I was ready for the battle of language. I'm ready for it. You know, when I had my Kemet on trial debate, they said, yo, we're gonna bring you up to see if you can speak the Metal Nature. I said, okay, I'll be there. We got there, no one called me out. He said, we're gonna call you up too. I'll be there. Just understand this. It may not work out for you once you start asking me, because then I gotta start asking you something. So in this debate, POLIGHT better not even try to deal with the Hebrew. Because, you know, he's white. He must know it, right? That's what they say. So I threw some Hebrew shots. I tried to bait him. He didn't take the bait though. I was ready for him. I don't go into these debates unprepared. I'm just waiting for the daredevil who tries me when it comes to language in the debate. Just waiting. So you can see what it is. I only rap in 4 different languages. Anyone who's walking with me knows what it is. You feel me? My brother here raps in the language that I created actually. He's on the chain. He got to give us something. You know what I'm saying? You want to spit a little something real quick, man?
Let's hear something.
Come on, bro. This isn't the language that I created.
Don't do that. What's the name of it?
Induasusu, the living language.
Induasusu, this one's called Pt.2. Success. Pt.2 kashusi uzufli. Pt.2 kashusi yashutli. Pt.2 kashusi fili. Pt.2 riga finara mina indu. Nitini habani urumezulu. Sunum hostai. Muna munfidak corona aki berislav. Akos da husman fear. Waki ubas hasta. Babu ni, Langhu wither ni, Katromahuria, Illa Mushubua. Fihaza azul mulhudi, Mahina Kaznefir, Mulihu Yabugu, Lina Milano, Fi Fiforo, Illa Nasalundami, Yamach Umunigana. Baya Gold Car, Steam, 6 Atia, Baya Kina Sanu Wazu Kira, Carvin Nasabu. Limuthul, she has now off to Ilakuyo, now off to Wasukira, Vishias Dag, Koina Akuna Watu Indu, Nazona Hapnu, Nuzo Finak Dag, Pt.2 kashusi Uzufli, Pt.2 kashusi Yashutli, Pt.2 kashusi Fili, Pt.2 Riga Finara Mina Endo.
Well, you know, amazing. And that's the language that I created. So this is not a game, bro. People be thinking it's a game. This is how we do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You know,
Love that hat, bro.
peace, brother. You know, peace to Black and Nobel, of course. You know what would have been good, the second verse, for him to say it again in English. Translate. That could be the second verse. That'd be powerful right there.
That's how it's
You know what I'm
designed.
saying?
We're gonna do that on the second segment.
Yeah.
On the second segment. But you know, I just want to show y'all. When we talk about sovereignty, we talk about having autonomous control, absolute power. It's a very hard thing to accomplish depending on what capacity you're trying to execute it in. But certainly, one way that we can demonstrate sovereignty is by having our own language. We have control over our grammar. We have control over our syntax. We have control over our tones. We can't say that we're a sovereign community speaking a language that we have to be educated on its roots and its principles. You can tell who rules over you based on the language that you're speaking. You can tell who ruled you, or conquered you, I should say, based on the language that you're speaking. So one of the things that we did to execute our sovereignty, or to establish it, is to have our own language. So it's exclusive to us. You have to come into our community and be educated by us in order to know what my brother is saying. See, that's power right there. Remember, one of the first things they did when it came to oppressing us was what? Strip us of our tongue. If you want to destabilize the people, you must take away their language, their ability to transmit thoughts from one mind to the next. And then inculcate into their consciousness your diluted version of the same. So we take away your ability to communicate your thoughts amongst each other, and then we give you a disharmonious rendition called a language or the English tongue, and we make y'all talk. And then y'all never understand it. Even 400 years later, we still don't quite get it when we're talking to each other, because we're missing cultural impressions in the language that makes us have an affinity to each other. There's things that happens in people's culture that call for specific tones to be associated with it, that is exclusive and dear to all of us. Some of them have to come in, sometimes for even years, to fully get the gist of what we're talking about. That's the power of language. But you know, probably 50, 100 years from now, people turn around and say, man, brother was real. Right now, we in denial. But you know why? Because of media. We're not used to seeing black people do anything great, so we question it. I write over 95 books, it must be plagiarized. I speak several languages. I don't believe he speaks any. See, this is what people do all the time. We question the greatness, but we're not sure. Most of our teachers throughout the course of our life were of other races. So guess what happens? You finally get a black teacher and he's actually looking like he's pretty good. You're going to question it, because you're not acclimated to receiving information from black people. You used to get it from the Chinese man, from the Hindu. All these foreigners come in to teach you the heavy information when it comes to the public school system. We're probably the gym teachers. They'll definitely give us history to teach, because they know they're lying, so they'll give black people the history to teach the other black people, knowing it's a lie, so that way you can believe in it because it's coming from one of your own. But when it comes to the math, when it comes to the science, a lot of times these teachers have been brought in from other countries. So now when one of us say, hey, we got some math for you, or we got some science for you, guess what's going to happen? Subconsciously, you're going to say, this doesn't even make sense. Hold on. This brother trying to kick science? Your mind is saying, almost all my science teachers throughout my life were of another race, never black. How are you going to accept a black man now teaching you science? It's going to be very difficult. You're going to be fighting. You're going to be resisting it every step of the way. This is true. We've been designed that way. So, like I said, 100 years from now, they appreciate what we did. You know, people could complain all the time. They complain about my brother signing that up, right? But just think about it. If he wasn't here, what kind of events would we be having? Who would have been doing the organizing? No one has done it quite like we've done it, bro. You just got to give it to the people when they make it happen. You go to Philly, you guys got a historical space. Like, Black and Nobel is actually known, like, throughout the country and even over the world, especially brothers of the lost population called the prison population. A lot of people do not have a program that caters specifically for our forgotten population called prisons. Black and Nobel has always been catering to them, education-wise. Why is that important? Because they got rid of most of the educational programs in the prison system. You can't even get a GED no more. All you can get is probably a Bible, Quran, or a Torah. As far as education is concerned, you can't even get a GED now. So when they have a program, we ship to prisons, and people trying to sabotage the damn program, and they've been doing this for years, shipping to prisons, you gotta say, we're not gonna appreciate it until we don't have one. Then we'll be saying, yo, we need a store, you know, that can ship to prisons and keep a focus on them and keep, you see, appreciate what we got going on right now, family. Don't wait until it's gone and you burn us out. We done organize the people, giving you event after event after event. shipping to the prisons, keeping a black bookstore,